Hi, my name is Dr. Denise Nicholson. I'm the CEO of Bold Publishing. I help leaders, creators, and speakers write their book, get their book idea out of their head and onto paper so that they can create revenue. All right, who's next?
Hello, everyone. My name is Latasha Sly. I am the CEO and owner of Sly Solutions, also known as Sly Education Consulting, where I help entrepreneurs, business owners level up in their leadership and their personal development to basically meet their goals and their expectations with their company culture and their purpose.
Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Esebere. I am a lifestyle and business coach. I help women, especially those that work a 9 to 5, turn their expertise, their knowledge, what I like to refer to as their brilliance, into a business that they love so they can live a very happy and fulfilled life. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Christine Wyndham, and I am the six-figure lash coach. I am a second-generation lash entrepreneur, and I have 10 years of experience. I help lash artists implement strategies and systems into their businesses so they're able to maximize profit and produce multi-six-figure revenue years.
All right. Good evening. My name is Andrea Buckham-Jack, and I am a licensed financial professional and a public speaker. And one of the biggest things for me is to be able to bridge the gap when it comes to financial literacy within our community so we can desensitize finances and have a better relationship when it comes to money and how we actually, leverage that throughout generations to come.
Hi, my name is Christelle Lewis. I'm a family nurse practitioner. I work in emergency medicine as well as the hospice at night for the inpatients. I'm a new entrepreneur. My business is Sugared Aesthetics and Wellness, located in Westchester, and where we help people look good and feel good, inside and out, because as we all know, when you look good, you do feel good. When you feel good, you look good.
Thank you very much. Welcome to the panel, you guys. I am so excited to have you. Women in business in this era. Please tell me, what are you thinking about when you're working hard and doing the hustle grind and all of the things that we're doing to ensure that we are a stable life now? How can we pass something on for the next generation? What are you doing to pass something on to the next generation as women entrepreneurs? Who would like to go first? Andrea?
I knew it was coming up. One of the biggest things, when it comes to business, it's not just women in business. Business is someone who's in service, providing customer service. And we're all in business, whether you're an entrepreneur or an employee, but you have to think about business as an act of service. And if you're an employee, you're in service, you're providing service, but you only have one customer, and that's your boss. So a woman in business, one of the key things, for me, as I evolve into generations to come, is being able to build something of structure and of value built around integrity, morals, and values. Because being a woman in the financial industry, one of the key things I have to make sure I understand is there's no separation of a man in business or a woman in business. My main goal is to provide customer service. And if I can be the best at providing customer service in my field, but it's going to come down to understanding who I am. And once I find out who I am, in business, whether man or woman, I could provide that customer service with integrity, with morals and values, and not just doing it to do it, but doing it with an intention of fulfillment, which is why I named my brand Global Impact Agency, because I want to be able to have an everlasting impact. So even after I leave this earth, someone can say, you know what? I can continue because of what Andrea said. And that's the focal point, is being able to build a business of foundation. And once you're able to build a business that has foundation, there's nobody out there that's not going to want to do business with you if your customer service has you're providing integrity. They know that you're there to help them get to their destination. Because one of the key things I ask every client, How can I be of service to you? What can I help you with? You know, instead of telling them what I want for them to do, is literally giving them the opportunity to understand, I'm here for you to best provide the not a solution, but the best solution. And the only way to provide you with the best solution is to figure out what exactly is it that you want.
So bottom line, I'm hearing that you would like to pass on integrity to the next generation as part of the training that you're delivering and the service that you're delivering. You'd like to pass on integrity to the next generation.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. And what are you doing to pass on to the next generation?
I think when it comes to entrepreneurship and owning a business, I feel like what I'm doing is making that blueprint, right, that map, because I feel like that wasn't really there for me when I started. And it was very hard to reach out to people. I had a lot of people that it was all finance. Like no one really wanted to help. It was all about money. You know, I would ask questions, oh, you can take my class or you can do this for this amount. And as you know, starting out, you don't really have that much money to be cashing out to take all the classes that you need to take. But then you always find those gems. You always find those people that are so open and willing to help. I owe you a lot of money, huh? So right. So what I think that I am going to pass on is not only the blueprint to help others take the right step, but also to have that personality or to be aware of remembering where you came from, so that you can also help the next generation.
Beautiful.
That's big.
Oh, yes.
I love what you said, but I also want to double back what she said as well. It's more so for me, my business is more making sure that regardless if it's females for sure, showing up the right way. I definitely speak to a lot of leaders and women in education as well. Making sure that you show up the way you want to show up, right? Because even as a business and entrepreneur, sometimes it's frowned upon how strong we have to be. Because again, if you work with men, it's okay for a man to be strong and nothing is said. But as a woman, when you are a leader in your business, it's shown upon. So when I walk away from my business or the next generation, I want them to understand and know that it's important to be the leader that you want to portray in your business and how others want you to be seen after and before your business.
Beautiful. Well said. Yeah. Go ahead. Yes, Kristen.
Okay, so you guys said a lot of things that I agree with. So you setting a foundation, I think that that's very important. For me, luckily, I am a second generation beauty entrepreneur, so a foundation was set. So it's important to me to establish systems so that when I am no longer here, God willing, that's far into the future, there is something for my legacy, because I'm a single mother, that he can choose to jump into and that can work without me. Additionally, I am a lash coach, and what I do is help lash artists maximize their profits. And it's not just because it's important to make money, obviously we're in commerce, but it's very important for women because this is a women-ran business. I'm in the beauty industry. It's important for them to maximize their profits because that is how you get balance. If you can make an exponential increase of profit in your year by coming to one of my trainings, that means that I freed up a lot of time for you so that you can not only leave a legacy financially for your children, but you can also have a legacy of mommy being able to be at those events, because you do need time and money. And when you maximize both, like, you can really leave a legacy. And that's what I've been doing with my business.
Beautiful. Well said. Oh my goodness, I love it. Yes, of course.
Everyone's speaking. Let me just. Okay, so everyone has spoken so well. When I think about legacy, something comes to mind is what will people think of me and my business when I'm gone? And I want to relate this. As a single mom, I have 2 boys I'm raising right now. They're teenagers. And I always, as I build my business around them, one thing that comes to mind is I remember what my late dad told me. He said, it's not about what I will leave for you, it's what I will leave in you, right? And so he did a very good job with instilling in us to realize that we can do, the can-do mentality is something that I want to leave with my children. And the way I do it, or the next generation, not just my children now, right? The way I do it is to build that courage to step out. So courage and confidence. Of course, we know that the confidence is not going to come until you get started, right? It comes along the journey. So just, realizing that the fear will always be there, right? No matter what you want to venture into, but you want to, just embrace the fear. And the way I show it is like stepping out, even for things like this, just even coming out to this event, in the midst of the things that looked like it wasn't going to be possible. I stepped out and I told them, okay, I'm doing this for you. I'm doing this, not just that, even for my business, the people that I work with, I want them to see that, okay, this woman, I want to be remembered for courage. Like, she had the courage to do it. She had the courage to push on. You understand? So that's something that I feel like will be in them, and that way they can face different things in different areas of their life.
It's so important, wonderfully said. It's so important to instill courage in our next generation, because that is also part of what will help them make decisions, be decisive, because they feel the courage. And that's something that we can definitely pass on from generation to generation. Wonderfully said. I have another question for you, ladies. The importance of mentorship, it cannot be we can't talk enough about the importance of mentorship. Can you share a story of a woman who lifted you up in your business journey?
I'd like to answer that.
Yes, thank you.
I have to tell this story because I felt like God was all over it. And my mentor, she is an educational consultant when I met her. And I was going through a trying time in my life to where I hated what I was doing. And as mothers, you understand sometimes if you're working a 9 to 5, you just want out. And I just picked up the phone. I was like, okay, found someone that was doing something that I wanted to do. And I called my mentor at the time. Her name is Sandra, and I say was because she just recently passed away. I picked up the phone and I called her and I said, "Hey, you do not know me. My name is Latasha, and I just need 15 minutes of your time." 15 minutes turned into 4 hours of this woman actually pouring into me, and it was more so she was a solopreneur and she's well known in her industry, and the fact that she took the time not only to hear me, but to teach me in that moment. And I walked away understanding that I do have something in me and that I'm great, even as an African-American woman. And she became my mentor I've been doing education consulting since 2009. And I met her in 18, right? And so for that, I'm so grateful for that, because it allowed me to understand that I needed to show up the right way. But regardless of what we're going through, someone is always willing to push you forward. And that's why I wanted to do what I'm doing now.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great story. Thank you, Sharon. Who else want to share a story of mentorship?
I'll share. So I met my mentor 33 years ago, the day I was born. So as a second generation beauty entrepreneur, I came under my mother. My mother was a hairstylist. She ran many shops over the years, and she was a really big part of encouraging me to leave corporate America and come into entrepreneurship. So what she's been able to do for me has been invaluable. We're basically running a race, and I'm the second leg, and I took the baton. But with taking the baton, she's also been on the journey with me. So she's helped me navigate. She's given me contacts. She's given me courage and confidence, because it's no courage like your mama courage, right?
Okay.
If your mama said you can do it, you're like, okay, I can go, I can fly across New York City. So she's given me the confidence, and she's really given me the contacts that have helped me propel and really change my life as well as the life of other women. So it's been a beautiful journey. And now she works for me full time. So things have switched, right? So we have generational wealth because my parents are on my payroll, both of them.
Oh, that's beautiful. I know. Bring it. I love it. Who else has a story about mentorship from another woman that they'd like to share?
I would like to talk about a lady, and I'm sure if she gets to listen to this, she will feel good. Her name is Patience Adekoke. This woman lives in Houston, Texas, but she used to live in Nashville. She has been very, very instrumental in my entrepreneurial journey. And the reason why I see her as a mentor is because she's actually a nurse. She practiced for a couple of years. She's married to a medical doctor. She had, at some point in life, life happened to her husband. But she stood strong, and in the midst of it all, she decided to walk away from her nursing career, and she went into full-time entrepreneurship. She has a decor and event planning business. The reason why I have chosen to speak about her as my mentor is because I have seen her go through, this is someone that has gone through a lot of challenge, and I just love the way she runs her business. So I walked away from my corporate America dream, I would say, in 2020. And I remember when I wanted to do that, and I think you were part of, you were in my world at that time. It was so scary. People came up with, what are you going to do? What's going to happen with your kids? How are you going to feed them? I still remember my boss saying, I know you're a single mom. How are you going to cater for your children, right? And even though I was scared and I didn't know what the future, had in store for me, and I still did it. I took that leap. But one of the reasons I did it was, looking back at her, when I went back to her and I shared with her, this is what I want to do, she did not doubt me. And she hasn't till this day. She's still standing by me, right? Even when I want to make some crazy decisions, like, we're entrepreneurs, right? As business women, we take some risks that you're like, I need God to be able to fulfill this. But as I look, she inspires me because I've seen her do some of those things. And then now I'm here to replicate those things. So just watching her and just having her by my side, even as I go through this journey, and I'm inspiring other 9-to-5ers to be able to take that bold leap, especially if they're not happy doing what they're doing. So thankful for Mrs. Pat Adegoke.
See the pride on you guys' face when you talk about your mentor. You want to share your mentor?
Oh man, this one is good. Mentorship, and anything with the word ship, means it's supposed to be taking you somewhere.
Ooh,
right? Discipleship, friendship. And there are a lot of mentors throughout my life, because every area of our lives requires different mentorship. And, being a life coach as well, I do this for free because of this. And for me, when I came here, I was an immigrant for 12 years. I had no papers. But I had no mentor who can see the desire in me. Besides one coach, I played basketball for 1 year, and Jamaicans, we had the worst attitudes. Let me take that back. We have very challenging attitudes. You might see that's the power of mentorship, because half the time we don't like to hear the truth, and until we can realize the truth, it will never set us free. And I know, Denise, I completely understand the pain on your face right now. But the mentorship, as the household I was brought up in, the attitude is everything. And we don't realize that until you get older. And my mentor said something to me, because I was the captain of my basketball team because of work ethic. But I never had a relationship with people because of my attitude. And she said to me, she pulled me over, she said, I want to share something with you, and this is for everyone and everyone. She said, until you change your attitude is going to cost you a lot of opportunities, because your attitude is your altitude.
Yes.
And from that day, I always remind her, I call her every 3 months, and always remind her of the woman she has, life she's impact, which is mine.
So just restate it so that I can hear it and really understand what you're saying. Clarify it in my brain what you're saying. Because, go ahead. My attitude is always positive, even in the times.
When though? Was it always that way? So, growing up?
When I was young and depressed, I come from a very traumatic childhood. When I was young and depressed, I remember people saying to me, when I say young, I'm like 10, 11 years old. I came here when I was 13. I remember people saying, smile. But it's not because I had a bad attitude. It was because I was sad. And I had a lot of things on my mind. But I always was the cheerful person. I remember my uncle, 86 years old, he just told me, he said, you've always been the preacher in this family. He said, when you started speaking at 2 years old, you were preaching. And you've always been the person, the inspirational person in this family. Uncle Tata tells me that all the time. So I just wanted to address that because I know who I am.
Right. But one of the key reasons why I say that is we wouldn't have realized that until we got older. So younger, you wouldn't have known that it's because of sadness, right? So you can't see the external piece. I didn't realize that until I was older. And it's really, really important because throughout my life, I've had many different mentors. And the reason for that is because every area of your life requires different mentorship. And one of the key things for me growing up, I didn't realize that my attitude can affect the way I do things or the opportunities I will miss out on. And my basketball coach said one thing to me because of one day, it was, I guess she had to say it because I was going to miss out on a lot of major opportunities in my life. And she said, hey, until you change your attitude, you're going to miss out on so many opportunities. And most times we don't even know that we have an attitude because it's not taught to be looked at as an attitude because, like you said, growing up, for me, I was taught not to smile, being serious. Where I lived, I was born and raised in the ghetto, so going around smiling around comes as if you're easy. So you had to stay in a straight space, in a straight face. But for me, it also affected my attitude, and your attitude is your altitude. So having the right mentors who can honestly be very, 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 straightforward with you, and understanding that when you believe that you can change, you actually change, because believing, right, is so important when you're seeking mentorship, because most people would say they're ready for mentorship, but they're not ready for the truth. And a mentor is going to walk you through and walk you down path that they've been through, that you're currently going through. And their main objective is to just show you the mistakes that they've made and how you can alter that so you can be in a better space at a faster pace.
I think that's a strong story. I really appreciate that story because it shows that your mentor, she was aligned with you and transparent enough to say at an early age, whether you liked it or not, this needs to stop. This attitude of yours is going to prevent you. But who do we have around us that we can pass on these gems to? Are we trying to be mentors to the next generation or the next entrepreneur? Before we move on to that, though, I really want you to tell me about your mentor, if you have a mentor, because, that's important.
It is. And do you remember what I said to you in the parking lot? Leaving work the other day?
Yes.
So if you don't know, me and Denise do work with each other. And I actually just told Denise the other night, we were leaving, I was like, Denise, you are like my mentor. And I have to tell you, so a mentor, I feel like, is someone that you should be able to speak to about, what you're doing in your business. But also, we talk about mental health. It's also someone that you can open up to, right? About what's going on, the stressors in your life, and for them to be able to give you honest feedback. And I must say, I go into work and I leave every morning. We work nights. I leave every morning with gems from Denise. She definitely puts me in my place. She's like, nope, lets me know what I'm saying is wrong. She's not there to sugarcoat things. And just the knowledge that I've learned in just a short amount of time of speaking about my business to you, the opportunities that you have told me about and steered me in the right direction towards, like I said, I'm a new entrepreneur, and I just feel very blessed, and very honored to be able to have met you and have you in my life to help me, guide me through this journey.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And this means so much to me. I am honored to be told, she just told me this, that Denise, I feel like you're mentoring me, and I really thank you for that. And I appreciate it. I am honored to give the gems because I was poured into. I have so many women in my life that has mentored me and poured into me, and I am the woman I am today because of so many women. One of the women that has poured into me and I have to tell this story. So when I was depressed, and that's been a long time ago, but it is one of the best things that has ever happened to me, because when I was depressed and had suicidal ideations, I didn't know I was there. But when I reached out for help, I reached out to my pastor because I was raised to go to your pastor for counsel. But when I went to my pastor for counsel and he listened to me, he said, you need to make a plan. This is what you want, make a plan. And I made the plan. I thought about different areas of my life that I was happy with and different things that I wanted to do to increase my happiness and to maintain my stability. I was already a hairstylist for many years at the time. I think at least 10 years when I first started with managing my depression. So I went to my pastor and he told me to make a plan. And part of the plan was to seek therapy. And I sought therapy. And the other part of the plan was to change course. I was a hairstylist for a long time and I wanted to change course. I wanted to do nursing. And he said, sure, I encourage you, start. So I went into nursing. It was difficult. I had not been in school at that time for more than 10 years. So it was hard. But I decided that I was going to do well. And so I spent a lot of time studying. Now, nursing school is difficult. And I remember failing an exam. I got 73, 75 is passing. And they told me, if you fail this exam again, you're done with nursing program. So I came home very nervous and I was visibly upset. And my daughter, she was home. And she spoke into me. I think she was like 10 or 11. And she said, she wrote it down. I still have that today. She said, God didn't just give you the idea to be a nurse. It's not just something you want to do. It's something that God needs you to do. So I want you to remember that and don't give up. You can do this. You will do this. I'm going to be here to support you. And every time I have challenges, and as an entrepreneur, the challenges get tougher the higher you go. But when I remember that I have support, not just her, I have so many others, but I remember that word, I remember her writing that down, and I remember coming to her and saying, you wrote this? And she said, yes, you can do this, because you're not just going to change your life, you're going to change so many others. And I was impressed then, and it keeps me today. So she has been a mentor for me because she spoke into me. She wasn't even a woman. I mean, she's a woman, but she wasn't a woman. She's a little girl. But it is important for us to acknowledge the women around us that are doing the duty of pouring into us, because by them pouring into you, you will have something to give when your cup starts to overflow. Thank you so much for this passionate discussion. I enjoyed listening to you guys because you look so happy, so proud when you speak of your mentor. And I can only imagine that when another woman speaks of you, how proud they will be too. Thank you so much for being a part of this panel.
Thank you.
Well done.